Good evening, everyone. And this is just a promo for our show, the show actually of Victor Covington. It's called In Conversation with Victor C. It airs every Sunday evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just in a few minutes, you'll be introduced to Victor C., Victor Covington. And we invite you to participate and join in, tune in, and become a part of his program once again every Sunday evening at 7:30 p.m. simultaneously broadcast on can be seen rather here on StreamYard and on YouTube. So we invite you to be a part of this interesting, provocative, controversial at times program. It deals with the latest news domestically as well as internationally. You know that we're living in a very interesting time. Recently, there was a global shut down in terms of internet, airline service, and others things. We know President Biden is struggling with issues, health issues, both mental and physical, and that there's talk that he may not be the Democratic nominee come August next month. We know that the Republicans just finished uh, their national convention there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We know that Donald Trump and his Vice President J.D. Vance will be heading that ticket. You know, just a few days before that, on Saturday, former President Trump was shot in the ear, aimed for the head, but because of the move that he made, just in the nick of time, he was just inches away from being hit in the brain and actually killed. We know one gentleman was killed trying to protect his family, and two others were seriously wounded. So this has been a very interesting, very trying, in a real sense, a very tragic time in our history. I don't know what's happening in this world today, but something's happening, and particularly in our nation, the United States of America. Well, and I'm 72 years old, will be 73 in November, and I've never seen a conglomeration of things, culmination of things coming together at one time. I've seen a president resign, Richard Nixon. I know that. I've seen a president assassinated, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, his brother Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Fred Hammond, and on and on and on, Medgar Evers and the like. But I've never seen things happen the way they're happening now. We're virtually involved in two wars, both in Israel and the Ukraine. Everything that can happen is happening today in our country. And I've never in my life imagined that all of this would happen within a weeks of each other, actually. So the most dramatic things have happened within a weeks of each other. The presidential debate was less than a month ago, and we saw how that went. We've seen our president decline significantly, cognitively, and now physically. He has the COVID for I don't know how many times, three, four, 5 times he's had the COVID. And so it's not even a question about age per se. Many people 81 years old are functioning, very mentally capable. But he has some issues, possibly dementia. Some have even indicated he may have Parkinson. He certainly is susceptible to COVID, it seems like, on a regular basis. So there's some issues with our president, President Joe Biden, that cannot be really ignored. And I know people say, well, he can hold on for 4 years, and if he can't, there's an order of succession. But I think some of these people are being very selfish, in my humble estimation, who are telling him to stay in. I think they have their own agenda, their own reasons why they want to stay in. I think, in terms of the power brokers, some of the chief power brokers, Many of them are really governing the country. I really don't believe our president, and certainly not now, is actually governing the nation and making decisions for the nation. I really don't believe it. I think he signs the papers. I think he puts his John Hancock on the documents and all of that. But in terms of really on a daily basis implementing and strategizing and all of that, I just don't see it. I just don't. And so I think a lot of people are keeping him in for their own selfish reasons. I'll be honest with you, really shocked and surprised about his wife Jill and his son Hunter. They may have their own reasons why they want to keep him in, but a man who's struggling like he's struggling, health wise, in both physical and mental health, and being pushed to continue to be the president of the United States, the most powerful country in the world, it me significantly. Yeah, I'm on a program. No problem. Yeah. Okay. So it's just that was my wife. She wanted to make sure everything was locked up. But getting back to the point, it's just a sad situation all the way around. Our country. I'm not a big Trump fan either. There's a lot of issues with Trump that I have, but to just let a man who's failing so drastically in so many ways to continue even the campaign. This is not a start when the after the convention, the full swing of the campaign begins. And I just can't see him. I saw him at the church there in Philadelphia, Mount Airy Church, and which is not too far from where we live, my wife and I. And here in Philadelphia. And to see him, he was sitting there, and the pastor told the congregation, including himself, now it's time to stand. And he just sat there bewildered, looking at his handlers, looking at his team for guidance and what to do. And it's just a sad situation. Hearing him talk to George Stephanopoulos and the other NBC host, and how he fumbled and jumped, it's just a sad situation. And so, I mean, I wouldn't want that for anybody. I myself have a disability, cerebral palsy, other issues like asthma, diabetes. I have a fused hip. I have a knee replacement. Other things that I have that are challenges, and I just can't see, people being so insensitive. I really believe it borders on being ableistic, that you don't care about a person's physical or mental health. You just want to do what you want to do and get what you can get out of all of this for the next 4 years without considering the great pressure. He's 81 years old with all of these strugglings that he has. Why can't we just let the man be in peace, live his life? He has children, a child, grandchildren, a family. Just enjoy the twilight years of his life. I don't care how many more years he lives. He's lived longer than he's going to live. Like I've lived longer than I'm going to live. And I would hate to feel that when my body is failing as his is, that someone would keep me in the most pressure packed profession in the world, the most packed profession in the world, president of the United. Yeah, Victor.
Hey Bishop, I forgot to tell you, I don't have a Google account. I can never enter in, but
Oh wow.
uh,
Okay.
yeah, because I know Bernard allows me in, and I don't. And in some way, the way he got it set up, I don't have to have a Google
Let me see if I can.
account.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can. Let me call him. No, he has a program on himself right now.
Yeah, he's doing a program right
I'm trying to think how you can. I can have you. Well, can you? Well, really, you can do like we're doing here. You already called in, so you're on the program. Anyhow,
now.
you're
Oh,
on.
really?
Yeah, you're really on. I mean, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see if that's how he does it. Okay, what I'm gonna do is let's try this tomorrow then,
Okay.
because I will talk to him because he, just like you say, he gets you in, and he's on StreamYard and YouTube.
Yeah.
So he's using the same vehicle that I'm using. Well, actually, platform. In fact, we're on the show right now. But nevertheless, so we can do that. I can just have you call me in, and I'm gonna see how that's done, where you can hear you clearly, and there's no. In fact, I'm recording now, so I may just replay this and see if I can hear you now. Just just for that. So let's start. So what's your time like tomorrow? Because I'll call him later on after his program's over.
I don't know. How about late tomorrow afternoon sometime?
Or how about
I
around the
can
same
call
time
that.
now? Would now be okay? The 9 o'clock time?
Yeah. If I run into any issues, then I'll definitely let you know.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thanks, Vic.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, my friends, we want to try to have to do this another way. He doesn't have a Google account, so we'll have to do it another way. But this was just a run through anyway. This is a run through anyhow. So tune in. Hopefully, we'll have a program for him with him on Sunday. We'll let you know. He said he don't have Google.